Egypt the land of gods, pharaohs, and eternal life. But around 1350 BCE, this peaceful kingdom was torn apart, not by foreign invaders but by a war of faith. It was a struggle between the followers of Aten, the radiant sun disk, and the priests of Amun, the ancient god of Thebes. This was the Egyptian religious war, the world's first conflict over monotheism. The story begins with Pharaoh Amenhotep IV, who dared to challenge Egypt's centuries-old religion. He declared that there was only one god, Aten, the visible sun, the source of all life. Changing his name to Akhenaten, meaning effective for the Aten, he closed the temples of the old gods, especially Amun, whose cult was the most powerful in all of Egypt. He even built an entirely new capital city, Akhenaten, known today as Amarna, dedicated solely to the worship of Aten. But this revolution came at a steep price. The priests of Amun had dominated Egypt's religious life for centuries, controlling enormous wealth and political influence. Akhenaten's reforms stripped them of their power, and they would not forgive him. Behind the scenes, they plotted, resisted, and waited for their moment. While the pharaoh composed hymns to his one god, Aten, the empire began to crumble. Foreign enemies pressed Egypt's borders, and the people grew uneasy with the strange, new faith that had been forced upon them. When Akhenaten died, the Aten cult collapsed almost overnight. The young pharaoh Tutankhamun, who was likely his son, changed his name to Tutankhamun, the living image of Amun. The temples of Amun reopened. The statues of Aten were systematically destroyed, and Akhenaten's name and memory were erased from history. The priests of Amun had won, restoring Egypt's ancient religion and condemning Akhenaten's revolution as heresy. The conflict between Aten and Amun was more than just a religious struggle. It was the first battle between monotheism and polytheism, between a radical new faith and a deeply rooted tradition, between absolute power and a singular vision. Akhenaten's dream of one god may have died with him, but his ideas would echo through history, inspiring future faiths built on the very same belief in one divine power. The first religious war and the first spark of monotheism. If you enjoyed exploring Egypt's forgotten revolution, hit that like button, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories from ancient history. Thanks for watching.